write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs through the phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the brujas let this last. I don't know.
That was the great sounds of Watts Without Sound on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. EZ BlueZ, you're better with introductions more than me. Who do we have with us today on Behind the Brand?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, instrumentation has evolved throughout the years upon years upon years. Whether it be in a Mozart fugue or whether it be in a wonderful sonata, you had the strings that help pull your emotions forward and go. On top of that, then we start to add this extra instrumentation to other types of music, and it grows and it builds and it grows and it builds. One of the most phenomenal acts I have ever seen is a female artist named Poe, and her celloist dragged your heart and soul throughout the entire performance. We are only as limited as our mind allows us to be, and we are only put in the boxes that we are told to sit in. But it is our jobs as the creatives to jump out there and continue to push the envelope. And today, we are blessed and honored to have one of the people that likes to really understand and push what a cello can be and the types of music it should be in. And honestly, after this conversation, if you don't feel it should be in all types of music, it's a boo on you, 100% boo on you. And we will boo you on site in public. I'm just saying. I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, keep your hands at 10 and 2 for the awesome, the amazing, the incredible celloist, Johnathan Moore.
What's going on, y'all?
Well,
oh my God.
It's all right, man. I've booed people in public before. It's fine. It's nothing new for me.
Oh, geez.
Oh, Lord.
Always an incredible introduction by EZ BlueZ. Does always a great job.
Yeah, I never had an introduction like that ever. I felt pretty good about that.
Well, and that's the whole key, man. And this entire time is for you, and you are. I tell people all the time, it is those individual stories that are the most important. And it's one of the reasons why Prestige and I put this show together is to highlight the stories of the people that we know or we might know. And, it is absolutely incredible to hear these types of journeys. With you in particular, though, you could have easily sat in the stuffed shirt and, signed into the union and, played a whole bunch of long, drawn out, bow work.
Yep.
But you decided not to. And what is that like, taking an instrument that we'll say isn't seen all the time in, say R&B or hip hop, and really bridging that gap and really exploring what it's like to do that. And for those who don't know, a cello is the thing that looks like a stand-up bass. It's just a little bit smaller. And it deals with more of the mids than the lows. Okay, now that I've explained it to everybody, we can now play the home game.
Yeah. So it's definitely different. But my whole life is just about being different. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I definitely wanted to do. Like you said, I didn't want to really play classical and stuff, even though that's what I started out on back in like middle school and somewhat high school. But I wanted to just branch out and explore my own voice on the cello. And, that's one of the reasons why I'm pretty much unorthodox. I'm very unorthodox. That's what a lot of people say. It's like, yo, you're a rule breaker, bro. I said, yeah, that's the whole point. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a different experience. It's a different journey for me.
And it's awesome that you consider yourself like a rule breaker and all those different type of things, and how really that journey is so much more forefront with the instrumentation that you have. The reason why I say that is anyone who's actually gotten into music and gotten into the writing of music, you go through music theory classes. Those music theory classes teaches you the traditional rules when writing classical music until theory 4, where they teach you how to break those rules,
Right.
which I always thought was hysterical. But that, but and that's the key though. The field in which you can play within by having that classical background, by having, knowing the proper ways to hold the instrument and to use your bow. That gives you the opportunity to be more unorthodox. It's not like you've never, trained or anything like that. You picked up a cello and started, smacking it around like Ike smacked Tina. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so what was that journey like, growing up and dealing with the classical stuff and kind of having to suppress who you were at such a young age to stand now who you are?
I know now that foundation is everything. So as I was growing up, with the cello, I understood more of the importance of learning how to properly hold it and properly do the bow and all of that nitty gritty stuff. But I know when I finally got that down, I can finally add my own stuff to it and my own techniques and, but I really had to get comfortable with the foundation of the instrument first. So I always tell any artist, even though it's music, visual art, dance, learn your foundation. So that's pretty much one of the main things that I had to experience on my own with a lot of teachers and things of that nature.
Who are your teachers? Who are your mentors?
So this is kind of funny. So pretty much my parents were like my very first mentors because they were musicians themselves. So, even from a toddler, I heard them, sing and play the bass and just all other stuff. So my mom and dad are first. Right. Then as I grew up in middle school, my teacher was Miss Cosgrove and Bessie Ross, Arts Madness School. And she currently passed away like almost a year back. And as I thought about that, I'm just like, man, like you really planted the seed for me to even play cello,
Right.
But fast forward, going to high school, I went to co-op myself. And so I had Mr. Newman, that was the string teacher at the time.
Oh, okay.
And that was when he, well, not really him, but more of me and my class of 2015. We were like, you know what? Let's do some out of the ordinary stuff. Let's add some electronic stuff to our music and just see how it goes. And so that's when I started to develop more of that unorthodox style because I had the tools to use that. And that's when I started using pedals and reverb pedals and loop pedals. And that's when I really started to create my own, pieces and songs and all that.
So creativity.
Yep.
Nice.
And going forward again to college, my private lesson teacher, Rebecca Patterson, she played a huge part in my development as a cellist. At that time, I didn't have a good cello at all. It was like almost broken down. And through her, she blessed me with a black carbon fiber cello. And with that just took me to a whole another level right there. So those are my main teachers that really pushed me, motivated me, and gave me that drive as a musician, as a cellist, to be exact.
We all need those influences. Am I right, Easy?
Oh yeah, well, and it actually is completely how the journey should go. You know, your first influences should be, you know, your parents' aspects, and then the teachers. Like it is almost the perfect storybook way to go about things. And also, like shout out because we've had the new arts head of arts for Betsy Ross on the show talking about the importance of, you know, an arts STEAM or STEAM school and the absolute importance of that. And then, of course, co-op as well. These are things that are so important for New Haven to move forward. You know, I say it all the time. Arts are so super important for any child, not just necessarily for a child that wants to go and continue to be in the arts and to find how to make money in the arts, but to have that open creativity, to have that imagination open is so super, super important. And the better you do in music, the better you're going to do in math. That is just a proven fact because math is music and music is math. And I hate it. So, you know, it's one of those things. You know, but you know what I find, right? But you know how to count. You know how to get that 4 count in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know how to subdivide the beat. You know, subdivide the measure enough to put where you need to be put in there. You might hate it, but it's a part of who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's one of the key things. And if more schools taught that, if more schools taught, if it wasn't for Pythagoras, the man who came up with a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the same man who came up with the actual mathematical equation for string tension.
Yep.
You know, if more schools would teach us, there would be no Cardi B if there was not Pythagoras. More kids would be paying attention in math class. You know,
so that's what music is. Music is math. It's literally math. Just count. Just count and use your ear. You know, and
even from the production
skills too.
Yeah, reading skills and also from the production aspect as well, because you know, if you really break it down, you know what the frequency of each note is going to be, and you know how to layer these different frequencies on top of each other. That's math, folks.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure is.
You know what I mean? That's math at some of the highest levels of math. And you have some people who, very much like Einstein, would fail basic math classes, but will write the most incredible symphony you've ever heard by using mathematical dictation. Because we never sit down and have those two set moments and be like, hey guys, guess what? You know, you need to know. It's the same with any other type of art too. You know, you need to know the basic color wheel to explore it. And I love, you know, how your journey has very similar to me. I'm gonna look at your cello style as the Jeet Kune Do of playing cello. You know Jeet Kune Do, right?
Yeah, I've definitely heard of him.
I think he froze.
Conversations were taking too long because everyone knew.
Yeah, easy. We kind of got a great still image of you.
Yeah.
But you're back with us right now. So just take back a good like 2 or 3 sentences from what you just said.
Figured. I heard the breakup. You
Yeah.
paused for a second, and I was like, oh.
We just gotta keep rolling.
I'm telling truth again.
You are telling the truth on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, New Haven, Beyond the Brand. The show must continue. Go right ahead, Easy Blues.
All right. So, you know, the process of Jeet Kune Do was Bruce Lee saw that it was taking way too long. These fights in tournaments were taking forever because if you threw in the traditional style of martial arts, if you threw a certain punch, you had to counter with this counter. But I know this person's countering with this counter, so I now have to counter with this counter. Hours upon hours upon hours upon hours.
Yep.
But he understood you learn the foundation of each art, and then you apply yourself to it. To me, Jeet Kune Do is a stylist style, a style built around the individual. And that is what your cello playing is. And feel free to put that in your bio from now on, because dude, you have well, first of all, one of the coolest looking cellos I've ever seen. Like, you know, just black carbon fiber cello, just chilling with a bunch of cool little pedals up there. And now you'd be like, yes, I am the Jeet Kune Do celloist. Bro, I'm telling you, we're making money now. Now we're making money.
Yeah. That's funny. One of my friends actually does that style too. He's in the martial arts.
There you go.
That's
Hey, you
cool.
want to know something? If when he watches this, he's either going to tell you I'm completely insane or I'm a genius, and I'm okay with either one of those answers. I'll be honest.
Either one. Either one. You know, most like famous artists are like, you know, we're a little different in the head. But it's all
Cuckoo
right.
for Cocoa Puffs, they actually say
Yep,
sometimes.
yep.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, what has been one of your biggest challenges? Like going from the performance aspect, going from the middle school, the high school, even the college aspect. Now you're taking this into the real world. And let's be real, no matter what, we're all venturing into pop music, and pop music is a fickle mistress. So what is it like to try to like break into pop music being just a little different?
I don't know, to be honest. It's kind of like second nature to me though, in a way. I would say the only challenging thing is just branding yourself. You know, you just have to know what you're doing. Like in the background, like making music is more than just making music. It's like business. There's a business aspect to it. And the more I go about being a cellist, the more I'm starting to learn about certain things like that. Like, yeah, like, did you pay your taxes for the year? And like, even though you're an independent artist and all that, did you get your LLC? Did you like? So I'm developing more of an understanding of that, but it is challenging at times because I'm like, yo, I didn't know that. Why didn't anybody tell me like I had to do this certain thing? You know, why didn't anybody tell me I had to do an LLC? Like, I'm just learning that like 2 weeks ago, like a week ago. So now I'm in the process of doing that like today.
Right.
So it's definitely branding myself as an independent artist and also doing the paperwork and all that, you know, the business aspect. So that's very challenging.
Right. See, I find that so interesting because again, let's fall back upon, you know, the schooling aspect. Again, you had a great musical school aspect, but why aren't there these courses that are teaching us again how to manage your checkbook? You know, why aren't these courses that teach us how to file for an LLC? Why aren't there these courses that teach us how to, you know, how to make sure we're claiming and we're keeping the receipts every time we replace the strings? You know,
Yes.
or you know, we have those gas mileage receipts. They don't tell us anything like that. So we really are kind of thrown into the wild. And that's why it's very important as you continue to grow, as you continue to do shows like this, to tell the person at home. Because right now, there's some person chilling, listening to this, and been like, oh shoot. And that's usually when I say this is the point in time when you pull over the car, take out the pen and the piece of paper and write some things down.
Yeah.
It's super important. You know, at the end of the day, man, look, there are only two guarantees in life: death and taxes. And the tax man cometh. Came for Wesley Snipes. Came for Willie Nelson. He coming for you. You can't outrun him at all.
Exactly.
And it hurts.
Exactly.
It hurts your feelings. So
Yeah.
just pay. You know, as even comes from the Bible. Give Caesar what's due Caesar. You know, cut out that percentage and just pay it over now, so you're not getting messed over with it later. And I think that is something. That's actually the first time we've really talked about that on the show. So thank you really for bringing that topic across, because it is super important. Now, again, you know, as you continue to move forward, I have noticed from some of the things that you do, that you also are able to give back. You know, you have some of these up and coming artists that are there, and you kind of are that guide point for them. What is that like, standing there with one hand forward and one hand back?
It's actually fun. You know, it's very fun. Seeing people wanting me like, hey, like we have a show, like we kind of want you to, you know, play with us. But during the rehearsals, there's certain, you know, things that they don't know. And I'm just like, okay, like I can help you on this, you know. I can I can give you some pointers so that the performance or whatever gig that we have or you have will be a lot better than what you think it will be. So I actually have taken enjoyment in doing that, in teaching. And also like I've taught Music Haven a few months back, and just a straight cello class. And there was one bass player in there too. And it was the first time I ever experienced anything like that. To just give back and to teach them what, a little something that I know so that they can run with that. And it was very, it made me feel good, like, it made me feel very good, It's like, man, like they're depending on me to teach them, like, man, okay.
It was a rewarding feeling too.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was in their shoes,
Right.
So for me to do this like years later, I'm like, I'm really in this position right now. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, it's definitely a heartwarming feeling to experience things like that.
Is it true they say cello is the hardest instrument?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm still learning things myself, along with like the foundation stuff. I'm still adding different type of techniques, and that alone is like another journey within itself. So, and the techniques I do is like, it's very hard on the cello. You try to have a classical cellist do the things I do that are unorthodox, to be like, okay, my thumb hurts.
Right.
Like, I'm not getting the harmonics that you're getting.
Right.
But yeah, it's challenging, man. It's a challenging instrument. It's very challenging.
Easy, I'm sorry. I think I cut you off that first.
No. That was a dope question, actually.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you said that because
Oh man. I think he froze again. Oh Lord.
Sure did.
Oh, he did. But I get the feeling when it comes to kids and just like teaching them and just going back and forth with the children, because a feeling like that is definitely undescribable. Did you see yourself just in those classes for Music Haven? Did you see little yous, like little John Moores in those classes because you were in their shoes?
Yes, awesome. Definitely. It was like, man, nostalgia.
Yeah.
It like I said, it was a crazy experience.
Right.
That I've never really felt. I never felt that. Like, man, like I was really in your shoes. This is crazy. Like, like seriously, like where did time go?
Right.
And it's all I can say is that it's very crazy to experience that, man. Like, seriously. It's like time is just going so quickly, and it's like you, like, in a blink of an eye, I'm 17 years playing cello. Like, okay, where did that 17 years? How? Just how?
And you don't even look like you're 17 years in, so you take incredibly good care of yourself. So it's crazy.
Most definitely, yeah. Most definitely.
I'm very happy that I'm learning your story and just appreciating your journey. What part of this journey led you to other opportunities like the State House and the Arts and Ideas Festival? Just seeing you pictures of being in those events, of having a great time. How'd you get those experiences granted to you?
How did I get those? It's just, New Haven is small, so it's like word just comes around. Like, hey, man, have you heard about this guy? Like, he's different. So it's about who you know. So it's like one person that I work with, that's part of the New Haven Symphony, was my private lesson teacher, Rebecca Patterson.
Right.
And so with knowing her, that gave me opportunities to perform at certain locations like Long Wharf, the Boathouse, and Arts and Ideas Festival.
Right.
And definitely after the Arts and Ideas Festival, everybody's like, okay, this guy, Johnathan Moore, you guys need to pick him up, have him at your certain, locations, your certain shows and churches too, yeah, even the churches. So yeah, it's definitely about who you know, but that's pretty much one example of how, the word gets across. Yeah.
What they do say, word of mouth is the best customer.
Yep.
It's better than a business card. It's better than a social media account. It's better when someone direct message you. Word of mouth, people are coming to you. You are that quality that they want.
Yep.
Easy. You saw him greatly perform at the State House. How was that exhilarating feeling?
Well, no, it was a great feeling, but I kind of wanted to jump a little.
We're jumping back. I think he wants to jump back, but he's still having that good old fight with the internet. But that's why I'm here, Reason. I'm here to have you back. So we're gonna so I caught the ball and I'm passing it back to you, man. So hopefully
that's
we just
all
get
right.
it rolling.
Get the rebound, bro.
Yeah, we gotta get the rebound and alley-oop for my guy right now. So I'm passing the ball to you, Easy. Let's go. Show must continue.
I'm back.
Yes, go,
all right,
man.
Did you hear me this time? Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
All right, where? Well, the main point that I wanted to really add on to that is it's not just a matter of who you know. We talk about it all the time. We always use like WWE or professional wrestling. If you only have a minute of TV time, you make that the best minute of everyone's life.
Of course.
And that is truly the key. Look, man, yes, who you know has gotten you to different aspects, and that's because of the person you are. You are a genuine person. I knew that from jump. When I walked in and we were able, just to vibe. Look, there are certain musicians I won't ever talk to again. You know what I mean? Just
in all honesty,
that's just the reality of it because of the human that they are. But then you also throw in the fact that you can play and you do something different and you add a little extra flavor to that is there. We talk about it all the time with different arts out there. There are only so many stories that can be told. The only thing that is original is your point of view.
Right.
There are only so many notes that can be played in music. The difference and what makes it original is you, what you put into your thing, and that's what it's there. So don't ever sell yourself short by, oh yeah, I just happen to know a couple people, and because this person's really established, I snuck in the door. Bro, this person held the door open for you a crack. You kicked it down and said, this is my home now. I'm going to live here until you tell me to get out or I have another door to go through.
Right.
So if you weren't good, bro, you wouldn't be getting those calls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And to piggyback on that, now that you said that, my father just always, actually my mother and father always told me to just remain humble. Definitely remain humble because your character matters. You can be a dope artist, but if your character's off, it's like game over. Right. And we see that with a lot of celebrities. Yeah, it's like, man, I didn't think that you would be this certain person in face to face.
Right.
Even though they make some hits, but if their character is like off, man, everything else is off. The music don't matter, your gift don't matter, nothing matters. So I definitely wanted to piggyback on that now that you mentioned that. Well, so
it's all good because I'm going to now piggyback on that because I really love this topic right now. This is the best bit of radio in a long time because it really is. It's that point of if the risk is worth the reward. You can have a little bit of it too. You can be a little bit off if the art is that good and that powerful. But that also means you also have to separate the art from the artist when you're a consumer, not when you're in the business aspect of it, but when you're a consumer, you can separate the two. Look, John Lennon wrote some incredible songs. He also cheated on and beat his wives. Like, not a good dude. You know what I mean? This dude was singing about all we need is love. And, he was coming, he was coming down on the one with a backhand. Like, nah, bro, not cool. Chuck Berry's one of the most incredible guitar players of all time. We owe rock and roll to Chuck Berry. He also had a restaurant where there was, cameras in the women's bathroom toilets. And when I say in the toilets, I mean actually in the toilets. Kind of a gross dude. So it hits those moments. At that point in time, though, they were making art that was worth the investment. And, that's why I can honestly say there's no such thing as cancel culture, because, 2 years ago, both Louis C.K. and Marilyn Manson won Grammys. If your art is still out there, people are going to accept you for that. Make sure your art is bulletproof. Now you have a carbon fiber cello, so your art actually is bulletproof, if we're being honest.
that thing does not break at all, man. and then you mentioned other artists. We all know R. Kelly is like, we still blast his music. Like every cookout gotta play R. Kelly. Even though he did what he did.
He did. And he told us he was doing it. Well, let's be real. He was probably the most forefront with it. You know what I mean? One of his big hits is "I don't see nothing from with a little bump and grind." My mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes, bruh. He snitched on himself.
Yep. But yet the music is still played. The music is untouchable. It's always going to be played.
Speaking of untouchable music, you were recently at the Seeing Sounds Festival.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience, and tell me about working with Trey Moore and just empowering minds that made you a better musician.
Well, that's my actual blood brother. That's my older brother.
Okay. Yeah. Small world.
So, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
Totally makes sense now.
That's
Word.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
We know Trey really well. So word.
We grew up together, so we know that connection. We know that music. Seeing Sound Fest is awesome. It's awesome. Like, if nobody haven't experienced it, they need to. Like, next year, please, because it's getting bigger and bigger. So it's definitely an awesome experience. Right. And to play on the stage, for my brother's platform, it's like, man, this is second nature, man. We do this already. So we just gotta have fun. I'm gonna have fun, give the audience what they want. Hopefully give them the experience. I take them to my world. There's a lot of nasty stink faces. They're like, oh yeah, this is that's the highest level achievement award for music. If you don't got that stink face, then you ain't doing something right. But it was definitely an awesome experience, and everybody needs to definitely go to Seeing Sound next year.
Now, it was at more than one venue this year, am I right? It was a little easier with Stella Blues.
Stella Blues. Edgewood State Park. Then the one that it was like three, four, over 3 venues, pretty much.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's really huge. Definitely. Big up to Trey Moore and those guys. We got to get Trey back on.
Yeah. Oh, no, of course. Come on now, sir. Like, I didn't have that plan.
Yeah,
definitely. Hold on. I'm shooting this from my phone, or I'd call him right now. Let's be real. But no, it's super, super interesting because, like I said, now all the pieces make sense. Now what is that like? You talk about that gas space. Is that kind of like what you and Trey do when you're showing your parents the music that you're doing? Like, are you making sure you're getting Pop's gas face? Do you guys have a little side wager on who's going to get that, Pop's gas face first? Who got it better? And those different type of aspects, because for other musicians that are really just starting out and aren't doing this, in such an incredible support system, that has got to be one of the coolest moments ever when you're doing something and the person who helped start you in this on this path looks at you and dang, that is where it needs to be. So has that happened? Tell us about it. I want to know.
I want to know too on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner Partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. Johnathan Moore is with us on Behind the Brand. Johnathan, your answer.
Yes. And it's crazy. I mean, we're all in the same household, so so we hear music that nobody else hears until we perform it. You know, so when we hear those certain songs that we're making, we're like, man, this, he's in the studio room, I'm in my room, I'm playing cello, he's in the studio room recording and making songs, and I'm just like, man, that's a good song. Then you probably hearing me like, man, that's good. And then my father's downstairs and he's playing the bass and stuff, and then we're like, man, like I want to try to do what he's doing on my cello, so it's like, it's a give and take in this household, by just hearing what everybody is creating. And it's been like that since we were kids. Even when my mother was here, she's in North Carolina now, but she's a recording artist. Right. And so she would sing. And then I have my oldest brother, he does beats and stuff and NPCs and things like that. And it's like, everybody gave and everybody took. And it's still like that. And so that's how, the world turns in this, in West Haven, Connecticut. That's where we at. But yeah, it's been like that for over almost 30 years, man.
Right.
And it's still going, still going.
Now, that's one of the most important things. You talked about it earlier, how, with the cello, you're always still learning. And I still remember one of the first music teachers that I had, told me, when you stop learning, you stop being a musician. When you are so super confident that you are the best person out there, then you're no longer a musician because you're no longer exploring. You're no longer pushing yourself.
Right.
What are you doing now other than, growing up and continuing to have this amazing push-pull relationship with the family, the creative family itself? What are you doing to push yourself and to continue? Or are you sitting back right now and be like, I'm developing this style and I'm good? Or what is the next journey for you?
Well, the next journey for me is I'm personally, in the process. I want to go overseas, definitely get connections over there. There's already a few people that I've met, from the UK. Right. And they're like, man, you let us know when you're coming to the UK, man. We'll put you on stage. I said,
oh wow.
Okay. All right. Please keep your word, because I will be hitting you up. But yeah, it's a lot of planning and going back, doing paperwork and all that stuff, making sure I'm good. So I'm really in that process right now. Even though I have shows coming up, that's really my main focus. I just want to branch out even further and greater. Definitely trying to get my first single out. But it's very time consuming. So, when I have a show, I'm like, dang, I got to prepare for this. But at the same time, man, I want to record, right. And me personally, I like to focus on, things one step at a time, not really in a rush, because I can't rush perfection, even though I'm not, nobody's perfect, but it's just a saying that I can closely relate to. And I think everybody else can relate to, I don't want to put work out that's doo-doo, So those are definitely certain things that I'm currently in the middle of right now.
I know I may pronounce this wrong, but what is Renaissance Gal? It's pronounced Gyal.
Yep. So
I've been hearing about that, just with attached to your name. I just wanted you to tell me about it.
So it's an upcoming production in Hartford. That has to do with women empowerment.
Awesome.
It's just the power that women have, especially women of color as well. Even though all women, should have that certain ability, that certain power in them. And so what I'm doing for the production is being the official cellist for that. So I'll be playing a few songs, and definitely gonna turn up on that one.
Nice.
Definitely gonna be a fun experience. Everybody definitely pop out to that one. It's gonna be a treat.
So everything is still in the production process?
Yeah, I guess you could say
Okay.
that, since it's happening Saturday. So
Got you. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
that's kind of what we were waiting for you to say, man. Because you're giving us all this incredible information, but you ain't telling us where to go and when to be there by, man. We need to know. Look, this is news, man. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Right?
Okay, so for further information, since I don't have everything in the back of my head, because as musicians we have everything going on in our head.
I have notes.
Yeah. Okay, definitely follow me on Instagram, more _than_talent. Okay, that's where I'll be posting all of the future, shows and productions, concerts, whatever. I post everything on there. All right, so everybody definitely want to give me a follow there, and you'll get more information on the upcoming stuff. So there you go.
Okay, but we're only asking about Saturday. Where can we go on Saturday? Is what I'm asking, bro.
Okay.
And how can we get tickets?
Okay. So if you go on my Instagram, I'm trying to tell you.
Like you said, there's numerous thoughts and everything going with inside a musician's head. Easy. You're in a band. Easy. So you're dealing with yourself and three other crazy personalities at the same time. So it's insane. Like my man right here, John, he probably doesn't have a spokesperson. He's doing all this by himself.
I'm only one guy.
He's only one person in this world.
Trust me. I'm aware.
He has everything that you need on that Instagram. More MOORE_/then/talent. Go there, see all the amazing stuff on his Instagram that he provided, because he does not hold back when it comes to talent. He shows all the great stuff from his Arts and Ideas Festival, all the stuff from the State House where you saw him, numerous stuff. So I can probably can't even imagine your stress. You probably have more good stress than bad stress, but I can't even imagine the good stress that you have.
It's both. I'm like, okay, I need a manager. Seriously, my mom's like,
it's hard doing it on your own. Yeah, it's hard doing it on your own.
I'm like,
and that's the whole thing, because in the music industry, especially at this level, we're breaking bread. We're able to eat a little bit, don't get me wrong, but we're not at the level where we can lose that 15% yet. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
that 15% is the difference between Chili's and the dollar menu at McDonald's, bro. We need to eat, man.
Yes.
So that's why it's so super important when you have, to kind of get in that collective aspect of it, because you can get and the cheat code that you're going to hear from every music seminar you're going to go to is make sure when you send out the email, you send it out as your own assistant, and your name is now Kathy, and you're the personal assistant, and you speak to these people only in that aspect. That's what they tell you to you have to fake it to make it, except there's too much going on.
Yes,
that's why you need to seriously write everything down. I don't got time for that, man. I'm a musician. I want to get weird. I want to swing from things. I want to create chaos. I want to burn buildings down. You know what I mean? You're taking all this away from me, but I can't afford to lose that 15%.
Definitely.
Definitely.
So what I can do, I will go on my Instagram and I will tell you guys the information. Since I forgot phones can do that.
No, it's okay.
It's great.
We do get the point.
All right. The Renaissance Gal, it'll be Saturday, July 22nd, 5 to 8 p.m. Butler McCook House and Garden. Be there. All right.
Nice.
Awesome. Definitely make time to be there. Definitely don't miss out on that event. But is it hard just as a solo musician, just working with different bands all the time with different events? Can that be a little challenging, just like practicing with them, getting to know them? And it's kind of a little bit hard because you're only doing that for that one specific night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes you have to carry the stress of the other bandmates, I guess you can say, because certain times I don't play alone. You know, I've played in bands in certain groups, and you can see the stress. Like, okay, they're stressing, while I'm over here. Personally, I'm more relaxed, calm. Like, okay, this is just like, you know, another day in the office. Right. You know, while they're like, oh God, what am I gonna do? Oh, like, okay, but that's when I have to come in and be like, okay, like, calm down, you got it, you're all right. You know, so I know for me it's not hard, but I know for the other people that I'm playing with, sometimes it can be stressful. And so I have to be that mediator of peace, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta be. You gotta be, especially when you're performing in Hartford and the New Haven Green and great venues like that within your young career, you know? Yeah. So do you feel you're at your peak yet, or we haven't seen the best to come when it comes from you?
Oh, definitely. I'm not at my peak. all honesty. Because there's a certain sound that I'm trying to get. Right. It's not there yet, but it's coming together. You know, even though people are saying, yeah, he's very unorthodox, like, but you haven't heard what I'm trying to really do yet, as of yet, you know, having a humble spirit. I'm literally telling people like, I really haven't heard, you know, my true power. sound like Vegeta.
No, definitely, and I love that aspect of it because it's super important. I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but that incredible movie Pursuit of Happiness, where you know, in the Declaration of Independence it says, you know, all men are created equal and can equally, you know, the pursuit of happiness. It's not happiness; it's that pursuit. You know, you're chasing a sound, but you're evolving while you're doing that. So really, it's not really the sound itself that you're going for. It's, you know, that next evolution of who you are as an artist and how you see yourself, you know, as that final standing point. It's so super, super important. You know, you say all the time, you know, you spend time in the house, you're sitting there, you're practicing, you know, you're getting ready, you're writing, you're doing all these different things. You know, how much time is now still dedicated to the scales and, you know, those fundamentals, you know, or do you spend like a day a week or something like that?
Oh no, that's like an everyday thing. That's an everyday thing. And but even though I say an everyday thing is not really an everyday thing, you know, I know how to take breaks.
Right.
And a lot of musicians don't know how to do that. Like, take a break, you know.
Absolutely.
But scales, yeah, definitely. That's when I do pick up that cello, of course, scales, that matters. Yep.
Well, now, obviously, unfortunately, the Apollo curtain is closing upon us right now. And I would love to sit and talk with you more and more. This has been an incredible conversation, Johnathan. Thank you so much for being here. These last couple of moments, just tell people again how to check out your amazing Instagram, how they can connect with you. And we look forward to growing and building with you moving forward. But thank you so much for coming out and sharing your story, brother.
No problem. You guys can follow me on Instagram at more_than_talent. Also follow me on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a link tree on my Instagram as well. Or you can Google me. Just type in Johnathan Moore cello. You guys will see everything, you know? So that's where you can see me at.
And if you want to see more with John, just Saturday in Hartford, July 22nd, at the Butler McCook House and Garden, Renaissance Gale in Hartford to see John do his thing. And John, thank you for being a part of the program. We do appreciate you. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City Made, EZ Blues on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Thank you, John.
No problem, y'all.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know, wondering what to write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft.